I was just the other day, it was 2 days ago, believe, out. No, it was yesterday actually. My sense of time is a little off because I'm following um, spirit and my intuition on what I'm supposed to be doing and uh, what I can do, what I'm capable of, and also um, trying to take time for myself as well. As the temperature drops and I become more inward, I am looking at signs from God or the Spirit for what I'm supposed to be doing, or if I'm doing things right or if I'm way off course. And a few things came in alignment, which I thought was really interesting. Yesterday I was working, I can't remember where, and then I had a doctor's appointment. And then after that, Luna really needed to go for a walk. And on my way home, I stopped in a familiar spot where I've done videos before. And as I got out and started to walk her, I noticed that there was beaver chew. And there's a video in here that is just titled Beaver Chew, and I put a pound sign by it because I think that will become a thing. I'm hoping that video will go viral. I don't care. I got it out there, which is the point. And what I was noticing in that area is that there are lots of little stumps created by beavers, and I'm like, this is new. This looks really new from last time I was here, like less than a month ago, which means that the stream right next to that area is being dammed up or denned in some way. And these rodents are very busy. And beaver are rodents. Castor canadensis is the genus and species, and they're common in the Northeast, and they're kind of a nuisance, and they're also kind of interesting. Beaver don't like the sound of running water, so wherever they're in running water, which is a lot of streams in the Northeast, they dam them up. And unfortunately, that creates ponding and pooling behind it. And sometimes in places that means flooding an area. And I can think of a really beautiful spot in Pelham, Massachusetts that has at least 30 dams and different levels of water. It's like this amazing landscape that's waterscape instead. So you see all these dams, and I don't think you can get across most of them, but there are a few of them that are quite significant. And the beaver population in that area is just immense. And there are multiple levels. It would be really cool to go through there in the winter, which I might do. And once the leaves are all down, you can see through things more easily and really get a look at that environment, because it's incredible what they've done to it over time. And in the conservation area, it's fine. You're sort of looking at, okay, if it's a stream or an area where they are, near the public, and it's like going over a road or whatnot, then yeah, you'd want to keep that area clear. And they are a little bit, I would say that there's no risk of damaging the population of beaver in western Massachusetts. I've seen more of them in the last year. Um, but as I was driving home after all of this, so I photographed and I videoed a beaver working at pulling grass and roots out for its home, which was straight across. I didn't even realize how close it was to the road and so on. And there are two dens on that stream, which I'll get a closer look at in the coming weeks. So building its home, and then it swam across and dove, which I thought was cool. And I have a clip, it's 38-second clip of the beaver with the roots and grass diving just before it goes into its den. And then on the way home, it was dark, and I kind of took the long route, but the short route, but it gets dark early, of course. And as I'm driving, it's nice and clear, and I recognize the moon coming up, and I tried to take one with it coming up, it was close, but there was too much woods. It wasn't until I got some elevation and then was down in, and the moon was a little bit higher. But yes, I'm driving by a number of houses and so on Route 112, going from town to town, and the video is rolling, and I'm making comments about it, but I didn't know what phase or what time of year it was, having any idea. And then as I'm putting this video together and as I'm putting the other ones together, I'm like realizing that the phase of the moon is the beaver moon. Like everything was kind of lined up without my any input on my end. I'm just doing what I feel is the right thing to do each step of the way. I take the dog for a walk. That's necessary. I need the walk after sitting for a while and stagnating or being idle. The doctor's appointment was relatively idle. And after sitting in the car and not stretching, and here's an opportunity right before dark, and I did that. And I felt really good about each of those things in some way. And I also felt like, gosh, I'm missing out on the mushrooms and the wild edibles and the things that people are interested in. But then people are interested in all kinds of things, including the psychology and this whole dynamic that I'm talking about, seeing how when you are not knowing where you are in your bigger picture, and wanting to be in alignment with spirit, wanting to be in alignment with God, wanting to do better. Yes, there is the striving and the challenge with all of that. And then at the end of the day, you can realize that all of the things that you were looking at really do line up. And sometimes you don't know until afterward that that was it. And feeling into the intuition, it's not something that you can really think about. I think about intuition as being the thing that happens when you let go of thinking about it, when you allow it to happen. And not just being an innocent bystander, but when you acknowledge that the spirit moves within you and outside of you, regardless of where you are in time and space. And you can see it and witness it in the conscious, but it's usually an unconscious thing. And what you ask for from God and from spirit is not necessarily what you need. I wanted to have a really warm day. I wanted to hike early. I didn't want to sit as much as I did. I had had a migraine the previous day. Things were not feeling really good. And yesterday was a clusterfudge of things that weren't working for me, but realizing overall I'm building my sense of home within myself, and now it's like reeling it back in as it gets colder. I'm building my own sense of home and being more inward, packing food away, doing those things that feel not comfortable but necessary to make myself grounded in where I am in life and where I am in my general being. And I realize afterward, and as the day has closed, that everything that I'm doing is reflected in nature, and how sweet it is to see that. Not always joyful, but how sweet it is to recognize that I'm right where I need to be. And I think that's a hard reality for a lot of people. I know it is for me at times to recognize that I'm fine right where I am. Not to chill out on everything and relax. Everything is about putting in the work and doing the effort. Without that, without making the choice, without any of that, yeah, life will fly by and nothing will happen. But there was just this recognition this morning that the last 2 days with the migraine and with, building home within myself and starting to make home more outward as well, putting things away, collecting wood, building a fire, eating more, eating healthier, realizing that I need to add omega-3s to my diet and vitamin D and a few other things that are already there but need to come in more fully. Um, that all of this taking care of self and taking care of home all ties in with the bigger picture. And Beaver, right now, Beaver Moon, Beaver is building its home for the winter. It's setting itself up with exactly the same thing. It's reflected, so exactly what I'm doing is reflected in nature. And it's just a neat thing to see that I'm in sync with that. And it's not always fun, but it's neat to recognize it. So thank you for following along with this. And if you haven't seen them yet, I have 2 videos out on the beaver, the Castor canadensis, which is the genus and species. One is beaver, and there's a description of what was going on there and recognizing the beaver chew also, which is the previous video. So there are really 3 videos out there: beaver chew, Castor canadensis, and then beaver diving. And there's a little description in the title of that one. So thank you for watching. I appreciate that there are people out there that are interested in all the things that I am, and that you're following along with the psychology and the deeper meanings of things, the path we follow in life, along with nature and my other videos. So thank you. Thank you for being part of the larger community. Cheers.